Alright, here we are at party management. You can see a list of player characters here um, that you can use to throw into this list to form a party of four. Um, the characters here are pre-made characters that the game starts you off with. These will be the guys that'll be assigned to you if you were to pick quick start from that previous menu. Now, obviously, we won't be using these guys. We'll be making our own characters because, well, character creation in the game is so freaking awesome. Uh, so I think we'll just get rid of them so we won't be confused once we get characters filling in the screen. And just go ahead and kill poor Gretchen and Gunther, Hans, and H.R.E. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe another time, another place. Right, and we got some options here, but we really can't do much until we got some characters here. So let's go ahead and fill it by making characters. Okay, then we have the character creation screen here, and my sound is lagging. I do not approve. I thought I fixed this. Okay, anyway, you might recognize some stuff here already. We got primary attributes here. We got a list of skills. We also got this vial of cherry coke. This kind of represents the points that we will be able to use to increase attributes and skills here once we get there. Now, all this stuff might seem similar to other RPGs, but in my opinion, Darklands has a fairly unique character creation system. One that I really, really like. I haven't really found another RPG that does it the same way. But anyway, yeah, in other RPGs, you have character creation system based on like classes and things. You'll assign your character a class, maybe make a custom class. Pick primary, secondary skills and such. Pick powers and feats, things like that. Maybe pick a race or two. No, just a race. You don't pick two races. And Darklands, I guess mechanic-wise might be similar, but what Darklands does different is, I mean, and here we go. I'm gonna say something similar. You are making an archetype for your character, but at the same time, you're also giving your character like a background story through this character creation. Because, well, you see this age counter up here. In Darklands, what you're doing essentially is deciding what family your character was born in, or his heredity, and then choosing what kind of life he led before he or she decided to begin the life of adventuring. Now that is a very vague and basic way of explaining how it's done, but that's the gist of it. And you'll see what I'm talking about as I start making a character. So right, in this screen, before our new character is born at age 0, we get to pick he's a boy or girl, and what his parents named him. The game has this really neat random German name generator. You can see that we start with Gebhard of Molding. Doesn't sound like a great name, but you can then scroll through and randomly pick other names like Willibald of Wolgemut, and Martin of Grobenhagen, and Manfred, Pushman, and Lothar, and Falken Hoffman, and Lewis, Viet, Ilbanus of Grubenhagen, and you get the idea. Ubo, Ike, Debold. But yeah, when I played, I picked these random German names, and you can get these like hundreds of combinations. You can even make him a woman and get all kinds of cool girly names like Adelheid and Conhild and hey Alicia, Kramehild, Kostbera. Very German names. But our first character will be a man, and instead of picking this random name, I will be making my own out of out of a list of names I got. And this list comes from, well, I went out and asked some Voltron Let's Players if they can forfeit their names for the sake of my Let's Play. And I randomly selected 4 to use for our, party of 4. And first up, I think I want to design a leader for our posse. And he'll need to be able to speak good German. And thankfully for us, he will be a German Let's Player. Let us make Homeberry Toby. Hey, Toby. And he will be nicknamed Tobias, because I believe that's his name. Alright, so he'll be our party spokesman, because he'll be the only one fluent in German. Alright. And then let us, make him come out of his mom. It sounded gross. You know what I meant, let's make him born. Let's born him! Oh, okay. Man, my stellar English skills. Alright. So, we get to pick his heredity. What kind of mom did he come out of? Be it nobility to the low-class commoners. You can see a bunch of numbers fluctuating as I scroll through them. And this all relates to, his heredity. The higher up you go, the more skills you start out with, whereas the lower you go, you get more points to distribute and attributes. The H.R.E Coke right now represents how many attributes points you will be able to put into this initial number. And I guess commoners are I don't know, maybe genetically superior because they're out there doing more stuff physically, so they get more points to put in here, whereas the nobility don't. But yeah, the benefit is that they do start off with some initial stats because from the day they were born to adolescence, their parents are having them do things, whereas the commoners, they got their kids just kind of tending the fields forever, all the time, so they don't get really many points to they're not educated in many things. Real commoners also get the disadvantage of not being able to pick occupations once they're past adolescence. They don't get many choices, whereas the nobility do, because they got more control of their lives. But having high attribute points is a big bonus because you don't get more attribute points after character creation. The number that you pick through attributes here is what you're stuck with for the entirety of the game. The only thing that your attributes will do will be decreasing, not increasing. There's very few occurrences where this number increases. So you want to choose your attributes wisely and what the heredity you pick. But for Tobias, I think we want to be in the middle around here, somewhere in the town, trades, family, and country crafts, because I want him to be a speaker. And I do want him to be getting occupations where to maximize his speaking skills, and being a commoner, even though you get more attributes, you don't get many points into speaking because they don't do much of that. Professionally, at least. So I think I want to be a town trades family. Yeah, it's looking good. And I'll explain more about the skills and numbers here in a second once I get there. But oh god, whoa, what the hell was that? My lunch just came up. Alright, anyway. Sorry about that. We'll be assigning attribute points now with our H.R.E Coke. And like I said, attribute points are permanent, so we want to choose wisely. And we got 6. We got Endurance, Strength, Agility, Perception, Intelligence, and Charisma. Now, out of the 6, I will say first and foremost that Strength and Endurance are by far the most important in the game. That is because Strength and Endurance keeps you alive, and considering this game is permadeath, we don't want to die. These other points are not as important. Although Tobias will want to be charismatic, so we do want to put points in that. But let's start off by putting points into endurance and strength. I think strength is more important than endurance, even though these two numbers are very important, because strength is also used in like combat calculations involved in combat and things, and right. So if you have to make a choice, you want your strength to be higher than your endurance, and there's other reasons why you should, and I'll explain that later. It's 1 point of EP to increase to 29, and from 30 to 39 it'll cost you 2 points. To get to 40, which is the maximum, it'll cost you 3. So I think 39 is a good rounded number. Yeah, maybe I could shave off a point of endurance. That looks good. And then we'll put points into charisma. 30 is above average, so I think 30 is a good number. And then we'll dump the rest into agility. No, where strength and endurance will require more explanation as the game progresses. These other attributes I'll explain as I make characters that'll specialize in them. The charisma is pretty self-explanatory. It's how sexy you are, and you know how good you are with words and your body language. And charisma. Okay. Done changing attributes. It's very important for a leader, party leader. All right. So we are at age 15. From the day he was born to until he became 15, he got these skills. Not much. But yeah, once you hit 15, I think in Germany your parents tell you to get out and get a job. And yeah, it's about time Tobias takes charge of his life. Alright, and now about the skills, because that's what we'll be dealing with now. The number on the left here is how much you automatically get once you select this occupation. And when we were selecting his heredity, we had numbers left up here too. And the number represented how much points he got from 0 to 15. And being a town trades family gives you some points into speak common and streetwise, which was the two numbers I was looking at. Speak common is how well you can speak your German. Streetwise is how much you know about the streets. You know what's up out there in the hood. Okay. Now, as a member of the town trades family, we do have a nice list of occupations that we can go into. Now we can just go and become a soldier by joining the army or recruited in the army, but we don't want to do that. It doesn't really teach you much about talking. Oblate, I think that's like a person that decided to go study in the church, like a church student. We don't want that either. We can become other jobs, like we can become peddlers, we can be tradesmen, we can go and become a student at university, which gives you a variety of skills. But I think we want to capitalize on the fact that he is from a town trades family by becoming a journeyman craftsman. Yeah, being in a crafts family lets you skip apprentice craftsman and just go straight to journeyman. Because I'm assuming that his parents taught him all kinds of things about being a craftsman as he was growing up. So, yeah, journeyman craftsman gives you decent points to speak common and streetwise. And also gives you tons of points into artifice. And artifice is a fancy way of saying lockpicking in this game. It's pretty much dealing with lockpicking and disabling traps. Now, you do get some artifice checks in certain events and such, but for the most part, that's what it is, lockpicking. And since being a craftsman gives you not only speak common and streetwise points into artifice, I think we'll make Tobias into our artificer. Alright, so journeyman craftsman. Alright. Alright, so from 15 to 20, what kind of things did he do as a journeyman craftsman? Now, the numbers vary depending on the occupation you pick. And it all relates to, your occupation, like a craftsman would obviously get lots of points into artifice because he's crafting things with his artificing skills, but he doesn't get much points to distribute into religion because he's not really spending time reading the Bible. He's spending time reading like instruction manuals on how to make crossbows and things. Right, and the number on the right here, of the skill list represents how much points you can use from your vial of cherry coke to bolster the skills here, on top of the amount you automatically get by picking the occupation. Yeah, Toby spent time at the family shop making crossbows. So there you go, you got some crossbow skill. Right, these are martial skills here. We got edge weapons, impact weapons, flails, pole arms, throwing weapons, bows, and missile devices. The bottom 3 being range weapons, the top 4 being melee weapons. And they're pretty much self-explanatory, right? Edge weapons are swords and axes. Impact weapons are like hammers and clubs. Flails are those things you spin. The poles are the pokey things. Throwing weapons are the guys, the knives and the javelins. Bows. Missile devices, though, they're the crossbows and the gunpowder weapons in the game that you can get. And craftsmen get a decent bonus with using missile devices. We're gonna capitalize on that. But right, he hammered away with hammers, making his crossbows. So we got some impact skill. 27 points to use, right? And I guess his parents had him go out and sell the family's wares, the crossbows. Maybe his family's dealt in crossbows. Made them and sold them, maybe. So he got some speak common and streetwise out of that. Being out there, doing business at a young age. And I got 15 points to use. Well, maybe he went to school, learned up on some Latin. Maybe he snuck out of class because school was boring. He got some stealth out of it. Maybe, what else? Maybe he spent some time reading the Bible and then became virtuous because of it. And went back to school, reading and writing, reading the Bible and going to school and stuff. He got some skill into that. And I guess that makes Tobias age 20. God, I keep saying Tobias. I'm sorry, Toby. All right, so let's go to the next occupation. Yeah, and the age progression is in 5-year increments. So that's what Tobias spent doing the last 5 years, is the skills I distributed. Alright, but at age 20, what does he do next? You can see that the occupation list gets shorter as you age. That's because, your life path is getting more focused, concentrated. And it also, the focus also shows itself, makes itself obvious in the amount of points you get to distribute now. You get less points as you age because, as you get older, your ability to learn is lessened, I think. So you get less points, less EPs, whatever EP stands for. So what does Tobias do from 20 to 25? And right, the attributes also fluctuate as you pick different occupations, and you do want to pick occupations that benefit what archetype you're aiming for. And Tobias is going to be your speaker, so I do want the charisma to increase. But you also got to watch your endurance and strength. A lot of occupations will reduce these two numbers, and some will increase it. And the ones that'll decrease will be the ones that are like jobs that you would spend, like a lot of time sitting at a desk or something. Not really doing anything physical will reduce these two numbers. And you don't want these numbers to be too low because, these numbers keep you alive. So you want to watch that when you're picking skills. I think I want to be a master craftsman. Maybe Tobias decided to further his profession by becoming a master of what he does. It does reduce my endurance some, but it does increase the charisma. And that is the reason why I put these endurance and strength points high in the first place, because I figured that these points will be reduced once I start picking the occupations that I want Tobias to be concentrating on. So we'll pick this. It'll give me lots of points into the skills I want to focus on. Alright. So speak common is a must. Spend lots of time talking to the people. Now that he's a master, now teaching them journeymen how to make them awesome crossbows. And also showing off his skills with mad artifice. 8 points. Yeah, see, as a master, Tobias is now focusing more on his occupation choice. So you get tons of points to put into the skills that the occupation uses, but you don't get to be versatile as much. So 8 points. Streetwise, I suppose. I guess then that's it. Yeah. Although, I do want some points into the missile. Yeah. Something like that. That looks good. Yeah. Alright, so that's what Tobias did for the last 5 years. Now, next occupation. Okay, from 25 to 30. It looks like we opened up Traveling Merchant. I don't think this was there before. We can continue being a master, but I think I want to increase his speak common some more. It's good to have speak common high, so you can talk your way out of sticky situations. Yeah, Traveling Merchant is probably the best choice. It keeps his endurance and strength at 37-38, and also gives me a boost to charisma and the obvious giant boost to speak common. Right. So here we go. And yeah, Toby, maybe he got bored of sitting around being a master in his own town, so decided to take his trade out to the world by traveling and selling the crossbows that he was making. Something like that. Alright. 18 points. Speak common. I don't have too many points to spare. Oh, nuts. Maybe he spent some time shooting at bandits while he was on the road. Now, weapons have a minimum skill requirement. If you don't meet that skill requirement, you get a penalty. I think crossbows is 20, so he's 1 shy, but we're gonna have to deal with that. It's okay. Weapon skills is very easy to reach. You just gotta spend time beating and shooting people. Okay. What else? We want artifice. Artifice is a skill. I think you want to start off high, because a lot of the skill checks are very difficult for artifice. So yeah, and you do get the chance to increase this in the game, but it doesn't hurt to have this high to start. Okay, streetwise, selling his crossbows. That's it. Is that good? These numbers looking alright? I guess so. Want speak common higher. Something like that. Right. And then from here on out, Toby will begin adventuring. What age you decide to become an adventurer matters, because as you grow older, you take penalties to your attributes to represent the fact that, yeah, you're growing old, you're getting weaker, you'll get hits to endurance and strength, you get slower, you get more clumsy, you lose agility, you get wrinkles, and you lose charisma. I think intelligence actually increases as you age, but that's not much of a big deal. And you also lose perception too, because your vision gets worse. And also, your characters can die through age in this game. Like, your characters aren't immortal. They're no princes of the universe. Although the song actually sums up this game pretty well. Yeah, it kind of does. Well, anyway, right. So 30 is a good number. You start taking hits around 35, and you take very painful penalties from like 45-ish on. So we'll keep them at 30. Okay, begin adventure. Alright, so we got Tonberry Toby. Alright, I'm gonna actually check to see if I'm recording properly. I have to record sound and video separately for this one because, yeah, all kinds of complications. So I'll be